Well, everybody, Star Wars The Acolyte. Probably the biggest failure in the history of Star Wars. We all know that season 2 is not going to happen, and we all know the reason why. Nobody watched this show. It seems like week by week, the show fell off a cliff. They started losing more people and more people and more people. And to be honest, I believe for the most part, the people that are actually watching it were watching it because they knew it was going to be bad. Mm-hmm. You actually did have people actually watching this show week after week because they wanted to see how bad it was going to be. And boy, it was bad, right? Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, guess what? Disney is finally coming out and admitting the truth about why season 2 is not happening. Why this show actually got canceled after one season. And it's just like we said. This show failed. The biggest failure, in my opinion, in Star Wars history. And right down here, it's actually Disney's Alan Bergman, co-chairman of Disney Entertainment, has spoken out about the fate of the Acolyte, confirming reports in the future of Star Wars at the House of Mouse. This is what he said here, quote, "So as it relates to Acolyte, we were happy with our performance, but it wasn't where we needed it to be given the cost structure of that title, quite frankly, to go and make a season 2. So that's the reason why we didn't do that." Wow. What are your thoughts on this? Finally, they come out and admit it months later.
I think it should be canceled, but then on the other side, they can do something about the show, like if the actress in the Matrix, if she doesn't die in the beginning, that would be better.
Well, I think people were really, really disappointed. They killed off, what was her character's name? I don't even remember. They killed her off in like the first 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
Now she showed up in some other flashbacks or whatever. And people were really, really pissed off that they killed Trinity so early. But there was no way I believe that this show was going to get a season 2. This show costs a ton of money to make. And they didn't get the eyeballs on it. So I'm not surprised.
Well, do you think the script will be better if since this is like the Acolyte is like way beginning from any of the George Lucas Star Wars?
Yeah, it's about 80, 100 years, something like that.
Yeah,
before.
If they don't put any of their ideology, and if they change the script where the two girls don't have the highest
midi-chlorian count.
Yeah, would that be better?
They never mentioned the midi-chlorian count. I don't know what they actually had with that, but still, Leslie Headland should have never been hired to make this show. It was pretty clear that she didn't know anything about Star Wars. She didn't know what she was doing. But she's actually a lesbian and female, they said, all right, we're just going to waste, how much does the show cost? Close to $300 million? It was very, very expensive. Probably like $250 or something like that. That is way too much for a show that had nothing in it.
Now, if they do something like, okay, I've just compared like Rogue One. You like Rogue One?
Yeah, I like Rogue One.
And it's before George Lucas Star Wars.
Well, right? it's kind of just before A New Hope. It's right in the middle, really.
Yes, but it's related to George Lucas Star Wars, but it's something new that I haven't seen before.
Yeah. Their goal was to get the plans for the Death Star.
Yes,
and that was established in A New Hope that rebel spies just stole the plans. How did they actually do it? That's what we found out. When it comes to the Acolyte,
It's totally different.
Yeah, it had like no connection whatsoever.
Yeah.
They messed up the canon. They brought back a character that shouldn't even be alive.
Yeah.
That's like, man,
and it's bad.
That's bad.
Because I was expecting where it should have connection to George Lucas' Star Wars.
But it didn't.
But it didn't.
I mean, you had Yoda right at the end.
Yeah.
And Yoda didn't say anything.
No, and Darth Plagueis, why he show up.
He shows up creepy looking in the shadows and
didn't do anything.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
So.
Yeah, this show is about pushing propaganda, nothing more. And I don't know who thought it was a good idea to spend all this money on that, knowing that they're not going to get a return on this. They couldn't really have thought that, you know what, this is a good idea. Let's spend hundreds of millions of dollars on something that's going to fall flat. I believe they knew that this show was going to fail immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's saying the good thing right here. Well, the corporate thing, I should actually say that we were happy with our performance. What? You were happy with that performance? The performances were crap. It has some bad acting in addition to writing. And,
Master So, he's good.
Until they destroyed him in the last episode, they just ruined him. He was the most interesting until the end. That final episode just destroyed him as a character.
Yes.
So therefore, there was no good characters in the show then.
No. And there's little part that I'm kind of interested about how the Dark Sith is related to the Green Jedi.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm interested.
Yeah, Quimir. He's a Sith, and the bald-headed alien Jedi, I don't even know her name, whatever. She knows who he is. Maybe that was actually her apprentice once or something. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. We're not going to find out. Nobody's going to care. The show's dead, and Disney finally admits why it failed. Gonna leave it right there, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. Till then, be safe.
Goodbye.